and I'm pissing off the neighbors. Whether homegrown or imported, we feeling shorted, cause we waiting on our paper. So next time, when they ask you where you from, you gon' say Detroit City, where we get back on our feet. Next time, when they ask you where you from, you gon' say Detroit City, where we get back on our feet. Yeah, you don't know about the D, you don't know about the streets, cause when you're in the motor city, nothing is as pretty as the hustle. You don't know about the D, you don't know about the streets, cause when you're in the motor city, everything ain't pretty but it's love though. Next time, when they ask you where you from, you gon' say Detroit City, where we get back on our feet. Next time, when they ask you where you from, you gon' say Detroit City, when we get back on our feet. Yeah.
All right, what up, doe? Free J-Mo. What's up, y'all? Welcome to Spike Kool-Aid for Wednesday, the 23rd of October, 2024. I am sorry that it is not 8 in the morning, and we might have to have a discussion. So things have changed. They will be changing over the course of the next few weeks in my situation, and we might not have to go on in the morning. So what I'll do is I'll put out a poll for you guys, and I'll let you pretty much decide what time the show happens. I know some of you are on the West Coast and it might be a little tough to make it to the show, but listen, so we might be on for a half hour. We might be on for the full hour. It depends. I'm thinking about bringing on Dan Campbell's press conference. He is getting on today at 1 o'clock. I wanted to get off before that so we could all go over there and watch that, but I might bring it in as they go live. So we'll discuss that in a few minutes, but we might have a speed run, kind of a accelerated show, or we might just do the full thing. I am committed to doing this thing. I want to genuinely compete with, there's a few channels that I want to give a run for their money, and Wilbur Sports is one of them. So this is only the beginning, 45 this year. And by the time I'm 50, I want a lot of stuff in this YouTube space and also in the physical space as well. So shout out to LL says, good morning. You must be on the West Coast, 1021, rocking the shirt that he designed there, 1021 Free J-Mo. That's actually the first topic that we're going to get into. Yeah, 1021 says they say Detroit City in the song too. That's why I sang it yesterday. So I got a question for you guys. How do you say the word Detroit, and how do you think the correct pronunciation is? Okay. The correct pronunciation of the word Detroit is Detroit. It's French. It was founded by some French dude back in 1701 or something like that. And I believe it actually is in French is Detroit or something like that. But it actually is, and that's probably why it's Detroit and not, because in America, in English, we say, our language is a little different. So we say, but Detroit goes way better with songs. And I was watching something yesterday and saw the great one, Eminem. He says Detroit, right? But if in songs, Detroit works. In real life, the correct pronunciation is Detroit. Okay, I hate Detroit. I hated it. I've always hated it. I've never been taught to say that. And if you say it, that is your thing. Seahawks just made a trade. Yes, they did. They traded Ernest Jones. They traded for Ernest Jones. They traded a 4th-round pick and Jerome Baker, who actually was a Miami Dolphin last year. I think he signed with the Seahawks in free agency and is traded away. So I'm like, what are the Titans doing? I thought they were sellers. They got to be being sellers, but for a 1-6 team to trade is ridiculous. And that means that we have to face him this week. We should be able to win that game. Speaking of that game, I will be at that game as well. My preference is noon or 1 p.m. 1021 says I say both. I say Detroit rolls off the tongue better for me. I can't stand that. All right, so I just made a video. About Brad Holmes making a move. We'll talk about that, but we're going to get right into this Jameson Williams situation, because it is something that's not quite sitting well with me, as far as not necessarily not sitting well, but a unique situation. So let's get right into that. You all have heard by now that Jameson Williams is facing a 2-game suspension for violating the league's PES policy. Now, that's different from PED. It's PES, which stands for substances, and it could be a host of things. So there are reports coming out. They're unconfirmed on my end, but I will mention them in pure speculation so you guys can know. It was actually brought to our attention when we were live on Lion Syndicate a few nights ago when we got the news. Now, he is facing a suspension. Today is Wednesday, the 23rd of October, and the new league week began today. Yesterday, which was Tuesday the 22nd, that's when all the loose threads are tied up. That's usually when they announce what is happening, who's been suspended, things like that. Well, they did not announce that Jameson Williams would be suspended, which is kind of intriguing. So we're trying to wonder why. Now, Eric Woodyard reported late Monday night, I believe it was, that he would be suspended or was facing a 2-game suspension. He obviously got that information from somewhere, but the NFL has not said anything, have not posted anything. Dan Campbell obviously cannot talk about it. He said that we would be fine without him. I believe him, because Jameson Williams was, I said, a non-factor in the receiving game, meaning receiving yards. I'm not talking about what he did blocking and things like that. That's what I meant. But you guys are so nitpicky that you had to just nitpick the words that I was saying. A non-factor receiving the football. All right. Now, the intriguing thing is this. With the announcement not happening on Tuesday, what does that mean? Does that mean that maybe whoever let Eric know that information jumped the gun? I'm not saying Eric jumped the gun, but obviously these people have to be very careful when you're reporting on news. Did he, by any chance, jump the gun? I'm not sure. Is this information that shouldn't have come out as early as it did because the NFL wasn't sure? So the reports are from different sources. None have been confirmed on my end that Jameson Williams could possibly be on some type of medication that he either failed to update the NFL with or something like that. Because I don't know if you guys know, but the NFL Adderall is a substance that can bring this type of issue to NFL players. It could be a situation where it is that. It could be something totally different. But those are just the reports coming out of camp as well, or the Detroit Lions or the NFL landscape. Monkey, I see your comment. I'm going to pin that because I want to talk about that as well. I want to talk about that. J-Mo is a factor in the receiving and blocking. What are your thoughts? Angela, I absolutely. For the offense, J-Mo is a factor, whether he's targeted, whether he's receiving the football or not. I just simply meant he had one target. I said he was a non-factor in last week's game against the Minnesota Vikings as far as the offense, receiving-wise, target-wise, reception-wise, he was a non-factor is what I'm saying when it comes to his targets, his receptions. Not that he was a non-factor in the grand scheme of the offense, because I've seen Jameson Williams block. He's a madman. I even thought that they tested him or something based on the way he was blocking, because he wasn't really used on the offense this particular game as far as targets and receptions. But the way he was blocking was insane. It was insane. And I was just, he's always been like that. So we don't know yet. It's again, Dan Campbell cannot talk about it. I know he's going to be asked about it today during the press conference. That's going to be one of the first questions that he talks about, is whether or not what's going on with that, because the NFL has not made it official. Dan Campbell cannot talk about it, but if it weren't for Eric Woodyard, we wouldn't know about it. And he's employed with ESPN. Not blaming him, not saying it's his fault, just saying that Maybe the NFL wasn't ready to put this information out because they were doing more research. Jameson Williams took it in stride. He said, hey, I'm going to take it on the chin. I'm just ready to get back, be with my brothers and help contribute toward the team. So we should know more about this as the game approaches. I would assume we'll find out something today based on Dan Campbell. He did not get in front of the media yesterday. Yesterday was his 97-1 the ticket appearance. We'll see what happens. But we'll find out what's going on in the near future when it comes to Jameson Williams. As far as the team, I would really love him to be back for Green Bay if this does stick and this is seen through. If not, we will see him against the Houston Texans. The division game is more important, but the Houston Texans, they're no slouch either. So either way, hopefully hopefully this thing goes away. I really hope it does, because this is a sticky situation in the NFL, in my opinion. If it is indeed Adderall, they needed to do a better job. I mean, people have to take this. They have to take this. It is a medication that they might. I don't know if that's it. That's unconfirmed on my end. So I will definitely let you guys know when I find out. But let me know what you think in the comments below. All right. I like that. God Monkey, man. We're going to get into that. Let me see where we at. I feel a little disrespected by the Max video. We're going to talk about that. He tested positive for Adderall. That was subscribed by his doctor. Okay. Applying pressure. I have not seen that. So usually, like for instance, I see all the videos that you see. Everything you see, I see. I have not seen a confirmed source say that. When I say confirmed, or I have not seen that confirmed from a source such as Ian Rappaport, the Lions, Adam Schefter, Tom Pelissero. Those are the guys that, as far as that type of information, that I'll usually make a video once I get that. But I wouldn't be surprised if that is true. Devin White went to the Texans. That is true. I saw that yesterday. Allen Robinson can step up. Absolutely. I actually think, Braylon, that they signed. I think that Brad Holmes, like, I give him a lot of flack. I do, because I want to win. We've waited long enough. He's done a fantastic job. But there's something that I think that he did, that he got ahead of something. I think that the main reason that both Tim Patrick and Allen Robinson were promoted to the active roster is because Brad Holmes saw the injuries coming, not with the Detroit Lions. He saw the injuries coming around the NFL. And I truly believe that Allen Robinson or Tim Patrick would be gone by now, or the Lions would have had to move them up anyway if they would have left them on the practice squad. Notice that Donovan Peoples-Jones is still there. He's still there. That's how useless he is. He's still there. Nobody wants him. Darius Fountain is not in the NFL as far as I know. So he's useless. He is useless on the field. Do not bring up DPJ. Max definitely wants to stay in Vegas. I think we should just move on. Jason, we will. I have moved on officially yesterday. It was fun. The whole saga was fun, reading into his body language and stuff like that. I don't know if I believe that. I think Mike Florio said it the best. He said, when you are in a informal setting, that's when the true feelings come out. And I believe that 100%. But, you know, what else is he going to say? I get that. Tim Patrick has just been what the doctor ordered. No pun intended. Yeah. Yep. All right. So I did say, let me do this. If you watch Lion Syndicate, I said last night, free J-Mo, by the way. If you watched Lion Syndicate last night, I said that video was going to be my last Max Crosby video. And then I thought about it. I was like, well, I got to talk about it on this channel here. So this will be my last Max Crosby video. But if you haven't heard, Max did his show, The Rush with Max Crosby. It happens every Tuesday at, I believe, 4 o'clock. And he got on there yesterday and completely set the record straight on what he wants to do, where he wants to be, and what he sees for the immediate future and long term in his career. And while I heard he wants to win championships, I also heard that he wants to stay with the Raiders. And I respect that. I respect that. Now, I compare that situation, in my opinion, to the one of Matthew Stafford. Albeit Matthew Stafford did 12 years in Detroit, and Max is on year 5 or 6. It's one of those. So he's done approximately half the time that Stafford did in an organization that just couldn't go all the way. Furthest we got was a wild card game, no playoff wins, and that's where we are. Stafford asked for a better situation. He wanted to be traded to a better situation. For me, that doesn't sit well. It doesn't sit well. So while I would love to have Max Crosby part of the team, He wants to stay there, and I respect that. But he said something yesterday that when I watched the video or watched the video, heard the speech, it was some stuff in there. And of course, I kind of understand it because the Raiders fan base, you're not going to, if it's all about respect. It's all about respect. And you can't lose the respect of the team and the franchise and the fan base that you're playing for. Now, if you guys didn't know this, there was a fake Tom Pelissero. It's amazing the power of social media these days. It was a fake Twitter account, a fake Tom Pelissero. You can fake the picture, but you can't fake the tag. And this account tweeted that Max Crosby was kicked out of the Raiders locker room for wearing a Detroit Tigers hat or something like that. It was so bad. This is how far it reached, according to his podcast, that the upper tier, the upper brass of the Raiders called him to make sure he was okay because they got as well. Now, I almost got, but I saw the tag and decided, oh, okay, I see this. Very similar to the tag a couple weeks ago that him and Devontae was a package deal, which also made it to Max. But the way, I don't know, man, the way he was talking about our franchise, he did say later in the podcast that they were speaking very highly, meaning we were speaking very highly of him. But the way he was talking about the fan base of the Detroit Lions, it kind of, in my opinion, it sounded condescending a little bit. Like, if I'm Max Crosby, I'm saying, listen, Lions fans, I appreciate you. I see what y'all doing and keep doing your thing, but I'm a Raider. I feel, I'm impressed. I can't even put into words how much your, thoughts and stuff mean to me, but I'm a Raider. I'm a Raider for life. This is where I want to be. I appreciate you, but my loyalty is over here. That stuff is cool. But the way he said it, I don't know. And that's why I said yesterday in my video that I'm good. Not to say again, comparing Crosby to Stafford, you leave a busted situation that you're just tired of to go to a better one. And he doesn't want to do that. I respect that. But I don't know, man, the way he conveyed it, but I guess that's just him. The way he conveyed it, it was like, I don't know. It felt like he was talking down to us a little bit. So because of that, I'm like, all right, I can see how my attitude can flip. And I'm like, all right, you know what, bro? That's cool. You want to stay over there. You want to be there. I respect that. You go right ahead. You stay over there. So my days of talking about Max Crosby ended last night. Max definitely wants to stay in Vegas. I think we should move on. And we have Braylon says, MSU says, win championships. That's not happening with the Raiders. If he becomes the coach at UNLV, maybe. Braylon says we can be loyal, but at some point you want to win. You don't want to be a loser. So let me ask you this. Let me ask you guys this. For me, I felt initially how you guys felt, how you guys are conveying that you're feeling. I felt it in my soul. But then I thought about it. I said, isn't that what Stafford did? Didn't Stafford want to go to a better situation? And I'm sorry, I have no respect for Matthew Stafford. None. So I thought about it from the Raiders' standpoint. I thought about it from Crosby. I would have much more respect. Believe it or not. You know who I respect? And I said this before. I watched Bye Bye Barry when it premiered on Amazon. And everybody was wondering why Barry Sanders retired. This is what I got from it. He never said directly why he retired. But one thing that I got, all right, and I respect this. What I got from Barry Sanders' video as to why he retired was he knew the Lions were not going to win. And he didn't want to play anywhere else. That is what I got from it. He thought the Lions were going to make it. They were going to be good for a very long time. They were good, but they couldn't get over the hump. And it was just time. It was time. He did not want to go. I forgot there was a team that wanted him there. He didn't want to go. He retired and not play for another team. I can respect that. The greatest running back of all time that I've ever seen never won a championship. Hall of Fame, first ballot, never won a championship, but he chose to retire rather than stay with the Detroit Lions or go play for another team. So as much as, and I think what got to me more is the way Max was explaining it. But again, I don't know Max. I'm sure he's like that in real life, and that was the real life and the real conveyance of how he felt. But again, I would have probably liked him to be like, I don't know, just, hey, I mean, he was talking about mock-ups and we started a whole revolution. Like, you guys we're clamoring for him and all that stuff was true. But I don't know, the appreciation for it wasn't there. But he did, like I said, he did say that they hold him in high regard and stuff like that. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, I think I'm done talking about you. Stay over there and do your thing. I appreciate that. But, I just didn't like that. It came across as a bit arrogant. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, but anyway, that's my thoughts on Max Crosby. I'm done talking about it. Let me know what you think down below. Any news on a Lions trade yet? No. I'm convinced the Lions are getting Landry. I left being a 49er fan because I felt disrespected by the team. They pay all that money and take no accountability when they lose. Okay, everyone's worst nightmare. Let me ask you. I'm pretty sure you keep up with the 49ers, right? You keep up with the 49ers. What are your thoughts on what's going on over there now? Do you think, because I watch Grant Cohen, and the dude is hilarious, man. He has me rolling. I respect the fact that he will come at the 49ers. He is a credentialed media person, and he does not hold back. And I think that's why they don't like him. But what are your thoughts on that organization from what you see now? MSU says, I used to be a big Stafford defender during the Matt Patricia era and still respected him when we traded him away. I lost respect when the Rams won the championship. See, for me, I lost respect when he asked to me, asking to be traded is, as a fan of the team that you're asking to be traded from, to me, it's weak. It shows that, and I respect that. Like, Max Crosby, we could use him on this team. We really could, but he wants to see that through. At the cost of he might go in the Hall of Fame. He's going in the Vegas Ring of Honor, but he might not ever win a championship, and that's okay. That is okay to me. I respect that. Watch that Super Bowl for Eminem, not Stafford. That sure was when the Eminem 50 Cent was doing all that stuff. All right, so what? Y'all want to bring in a press conference? I'm a little nervous. I don't want to get a copyright strike or something like that, so I'm a little nervous to bring it in. But you know what? I'll bring in, never mind. We can do that because I bring in the post-game show, so I should be fine. So we'll cue that up and have that ready to go. Are they trade Landry yet? No, Landry is not, as of this moment, traded to the Detroit Lions or anywhere else. I do believe that the Lions are going to wait. I don't think we're going to see any moves. Okay, you know what? I take that back. We could very well see the Cleveland Browns trade Zadarius Smith in the meantime. He might not be a trade deadline move. And there are several teams that want him. I could see the Detroit Lions. I could see that happening for sure. So I agree, Got Monkey. I did feel a little, I felt disrespected. I'm not going to lie. I did. What's up, Kira? Derwin in the building says, what up, Doe? What's going on, man? Says, Niners are done, Derek. They were lucky to beat the Lions last year. Niners are nobody to be worried about. You guys are the Lion. Your guys' Lions are the team to beat. Y'all got this. You know what? I was looking at that yesterday. They lost Ayuk. Oh, wow. The Tennessee Titans are still paying D-Hop. Wow. Max should want to get out of the Raiders. They will never win. You know what, Derwin? That's true. But again, compared to Stafford, I lost respect for Stafford. Now, the Raiders would hate him. The fan base would hate him if he came out and said, I want to be traded. Now, for me, there is a difference. If Stafford says, I don't want to be traded, and the Lions say, listen, we got to let you go. It's time to move on. If the Lions facilitated this and made this happen, then that changes everything. But the fact that Stafford asked to be traded, that is what bothers me. Nate in the building. What's up, Nate? Max is going to be miserable for the rest of his life, and that's the cost of loyalty. Think about it. Let's say you got kids, right? You got kids. And I'm not saying this is why you stay in a marriage, or you should, but you got kids, and it ain't, you don't really want to mess it up for the kids, so you stay with your spouse. You try to make it work, right? Even though you know in your heart it won't, but you try to, and maybe you do for another couple years, whatever the situation. Like I said, I respect the fact that Max Crosby decided that he was going to stick it out. I respect that. I appreciate that. Is that Adam Schefter quote real? What are we talking about? Spence, what's up, big dog? Says, my thought is that Dan and Brad would have moved on from Stafford because of what Stafford did. We all got those picks that help the team we have now. But if he goes to the Vikings, I'm glad you said that. No, we got to talk about it. But Dan Campbell, he going to be going live any minute. He going to be going, okay, what Adam Schefter tweet? Did you hear Adam Schefter said about J-Mo? Wait a minute. What are we talking about? Hold on. Is this recent? Okay, Adam Schefter. Hold on. When was this? What did he say? And when was it? Because I don't see anything regarding Jameson Williams. Derwin says, I wish I would have stayed. Stay where? Hey, Jason, don't be sick of the Chiefs, bro. They doing what they need to do. I feel you, man, but they're doing what they need to do. That's why I made a video about it. Okay, I don't see anything regarding Jameson Williams. So if you guys do, let me know. Yeah, I didn't see anything. So we'll bring in the press conference because I'm sure he will have an update about Jameson Williams. I didn't see anything. I tagged you in the tweet. Okay. Mentions. Yeah, I don't see anything, man. Yeah, I don't see anything. Sounds like he got appeal. Okay, man, y'all tripping, bro. That he said he will be playing because he hasn't been suspended yet. If that's the case, we're going to have to break that news right now. All right, we're still waiting on the press conference. Yeah, I don't see it, but like we talked about earlier, that there's been no update. No update at all. The league can't catch J-Mo to hand him his suspension, I heard. All right, that's funny, bro. That's actually pretty good. That's pretty good, my man. Is the new DE going to play this weekend? I'm sure he's going to be asked about that. Okay, I see it. It's from... Okay, so Woodward Sports puts out a tweet from Adam Schefter. He must have been on somewhere. Schefter must have been on somewhere on maybe ESPN, and he said that because according to Woodward Sports, which is not... I don't know if I can trust this. According to Woodward Sports, via Adam Schefter, says he's playing this week. As of Tuesday afternoon, he has not yet been suspended. So I'm assuming what that means is that if you are going to be suspended for the upcoming week, then you would have had to be suspended by Tuesday. Outside of that tweet, either have we goofy. Okay, I don't see anything reliable. Yeah, I don't see I see the tweet, but I don't see anything reliable. Adam Schefter was on 97 Won a Ticket. Since when did he call 97 Won a Ticket? I mean, come on, y'all. We got to do better. Okay, there's no way Adam Schefter was on 97 Won. Why would Adam Schefter call 97 Won a Ticket? I mean, I'm not saying y'all lying. I'm just saying I don't believe 97 Won is a local radio station. I have never heard Adam Schefter call in. Okay. Oh, stay closer to my kids. Yeah, man. Yep. I couldn't leave my son behind. So, matter of fact, the court told me I couldn't move without outside of 150 miles. So, All right. So we are waiting on the Detroit Lions press conference to start. We'll bring that in. But yeah, I don't. So when I see something, guys, on Twitter or whatever, I try to do some research. I immediately Google it. I try to find out where that source originated from, because we can all get got with this stuff. I have no idea what this is, where this came from. Maybe they're playing a recording of something that he said, not that he necessarily called them. Okay. Okay. All right. So let me do this. See, now this is going to take over the show. This is going to take over the show, man. Let me see what I can find out. So if you're watching this now, okay, Adam Schefter, Jameson Williams. Let me see if he. Wow, that's the first thing that pops up is the Twitter post. Nope, not doing that. Okay, so when Dan Campbell starts, we'll bring that in. But I want to talk about something, and we'll do that. So if you Google it, the first thing that pops up is the Woodward Sports tweet. Look, even the comment section is like, when did you can't they have. All right, let me bring this in. Bro. This is, hold on. The first thing that you see is them. Okay, that's their actual. I'm telling you, man, if this is false, then this is how there's a lot of speculation that comes out. I've noticed that a lot of people want to be first to break the news and don't do their due diligence. That's 100% facts. And that's why when you state something, you have to be very careful. So like when I did I said Jameson Williams suspended, and I was like facing a suspension, right? So you got to do like the thumbnail stuff and stuff like that. But I was very clear that he is facing a 2-game suspension, but I thought it could be reduced down to a 1. So while we're waiting on Dan Campbell to get on, let's do this. So I saw yesterday, I don't know if I still have this thing bookmarked, but I hope I do. Because if I do, then I can bring it in, and I want to have a conversation in real time live with you guys on what came out yesterday, potentially, and to get your opinion on it. And that is the fact that, and I don't have it bookmarked anymore. I must have unbookmarked it, but you guys saw it on the other channel, that there was rumors, massive rumors yesterday, that the Minnesota Vikings were interested, aggressively pursuing Matthew Stafford. I didn't know how true it was. I still don't know how true it is, but I think that I could believe it. And allegedly, reportedly by this source, Sam Darnold would be included in the trade. So essentially, you would send Sam Darnold and whatever else for Matthew Stafford to come to Minnesota. That would be the craziest kind of full circle of all time. Because after his time in Minnesota, I guarantee you he comes back to the Lions to retire. So you started in the NFC North, you stay in the NFC, go out west, come back, and wind up in the division. Why could I see this? Matthew Stafford, to me, at 36 years old, is still a better quarterback than Sam Darnold. Could it be any truth to this? Perhaps. It could be. Maybe the Minnesota Vikings saw enough from Sam. Sam, if you look at Sam Darnold, he started off great. And then they've been winning up until last Sunday, but he threw an interception, a costly interception. Yeah, Brian Branch is a dog, but Sam Darnold's play has been like, He threw all these touchdowns at first. It was 14 touchdowns, something interceptions. I could buy this. I don't know how true it is, but I could 100% buy this. If he was to get traded to the Minnesota Vikings, I could buy it. I 100% could buy it. You've got J.J. McCarthy waiting in the wings. Who knows whether or not he's clear to play next year? He's not going to be ready to play necessarily. So imagine Matthew Stafford gets traded to the Minnesota Vikings as they push for their first ever Super Bowl win. They've been there, I believe, 3 times, but they haven't won. Would you feel if you're, and don't forget about the connection between Kevin O'Connell and the LA Rams. Kevin O'Connell was the offensive coordinator in 2021 when, guess what? The LA Rams went to the Super Bowl and won it. He then takes the job with the Minnesota Vikings. He's in year 3. He knows Stafford better than anybody else as far as on that Minnesota Viking team. Is this real? I don't know. Could it be possible? 100%. Is it plausible? I think it is. I think it is. Puka Nakua's 21-day window just opened up. The Minnesota Vikings play Matthew Stafford tomorrow. And one team has to lose, obviously. The loser, is it going to be that the Minnesota Vikings go to 5-2, drop 2 in a row? Is tomorrow could be the season for the LA Rams. They're already talking about trading Cooper Kupp. Why would you trade Cooper Kupp this year if you're trying to win a Super Bowl? If you're really trying to go all in, not all in necessarily, because I think they did that already, and they're paying the consequences for that with the way Les Snead handles picks. When you don't have a first-round pick for 4 years. But guess what? Those Jalen Ramsey, Matthew Stafford, and he tried to get Brian Burns after that. They won the Super Bowl, which is the bottom line. Because we talk a lot about, well, look what happened after that. The ultimate goal is to win the Super Bowl. It's just a matter of perspective. If you want to go all in and blow the next 5 years for one, that's how you wanted to do. If you want to build through the draft and do all this stuff and dink and dunk and take your time and possibly create a dynasty, that's what you want to do as well. It's all a matter of perspective. So for me, if the Minnesota Vikings feel that Matthew Stafford is the answer, I wouldn't be mad at him. I'm going to tell you that, because I already see them being a better team if Matthew Stafford was there. And that breaks my heart to say, because Matthew Stafford decided he wanted to leave Detroit. But you can't deny that the Minnesota Vikings, with that defense, just picture Matthew Stafford to Justin Jefferson. It's something you don't even want to think about. If you thought the Rams were bad, the Rams to me, they were very fortunate, really. Their defense was top tier as well, but they were fortunate in a lot of, drop passes, drop interceptions, sacks, things like that, people getting to Joe Burrow. So I think they were fortunate as well. But if there's any truth to this, that would be insane. I think this year the trade deadline is going to be absolutely ridiculous. But let me know what you guys think. Would be a second Megatron. What's up, Larry? What's good? Hey, Larry, did you change your photo, bro? Dang, it's been a minute. It's been a minute. They gave up on Case Keenum after their playoff run. I wouldn't put it past them to dump another QB. I am sorry that I meant to say hi to you. Oh, Sergey, you good, bro? You good? Hey, Zilla, J-Mo got popped for Adderall allegedly. Okay, do me a favor. Do me a favor. If you're going to come in here with any type of speculation comments, I need you to either A, tag me on Twitter, or B, if you are allowed to post any type of link in this chat, because I'm not sure you can, put it in the chat. We need to have this stuff source. I did not find, usually if you say, a person said this, you're going to put where you heard it from. So Adam Schefter via the Pivot Podcast, via Get Up Football or Good Morning Football, via the Insiders, which he's not a part of. But that's my point. If you just say Adam Schefter said, come on, bruh. Why don't Adam Schefter say I'm a millionaire? Vikings play Rams, coincidence? I think not. You know what too, Braylon? I thought to myself, I said, if this is fake news, that's probably why it popped up. The fake news popped up because of this. What's up, Sean? I think we have to trade now because of Dan Talks. I am so fed up with the Stafford blitz. I don't want to talk about it on about it on the phone line, but I don't know if you have time. You know what, bro? I'm not taking phone calls yet on this show, but the goal is to take phone calls on this show. That is the goal. What's up, Hey Gang? So we've been through Jameson Williams. We've been through Max Crosby. We've even talked about the possibility of, okay, so Dan Campbell is at the podium now. Okay, and they're live. Here you go. Dan Campbell's at the podium. I will start it over. Give me a second. Hopefully this is not in double speed. I know he's going to start talking about J-Mo. All right. Dan Campbell's at the podium. Let's bring him in.
You know, trying to find the right mix on how you want to do it. And so, you know, every week you're figuring things out. And it's a dangerous team. They got a lot of weapons across the board. It's an outstanding defense. You know, this is yards-wise. I mean, it's the number one defense in the league. Outstanding on third down. And really just...
Thank you. Thank you. I told y'all it was the number one defense in the league yards-wise. That is number one defense. So I found that out a couple weeks ago. The number one defense in the league strictly goes by yards. You got different categories, points and stuff like that. But overall defense is simply yards. I wonder why they use yards and not points, but it is yards. So the Tennessee Titans, as bad as they are the number one defense yards-wise in the NFL.
Stat is turnovers. It's the turnover ratio. You know, they've gave up a couple and they haven't got many on defense. So, you know, you flip that just a little bit and they're not sitting where they are. So, good football team that we got to be ready for. And so it all really starts today for us. That's kind of where we're at.
I have a team look past these guys, no matter the record, but how you keep these guys like not being caught up in the trap game?
Well, look, you turn on the tape. You know, I mean, that's the best thing. When you sit there and watch these guys, I know, when you know, turn on this defense and you're watching Simmons and you're watching Key and you're watching Landry and, you know, you're watching Sweat and Murray, and then you got Snead and you got the young guys out there at corner, McCrary in there at slot, and these two safeties. It's like, man, this is a talented unit that knows how to play defense, and so they're giving people fits, man. And they've had a fast start in all their games, and it just hadn't quite been able to close it out. And like I say, you change a couple of things on the turnover ratio, and this is a totally different deal. Offensively, then they're going to lean on the run game. It's screens, it's boots, and, you know, they're going to put their guys in position to make plays. Ridley's explosive. And so that's what I say. Turn on the tape and don't kid yourself, because this unit is got plenty of firepower over there. So that being said, that's one, too, is, man, we got our own standards, and it's about us and how we handle our business. We got to make our corrections from last week, and we got to improve this week. And that's what it is. But you hit it head on. You say exactly what it is.
You expect to have what is the latest?
Okay, so if you can't hear Dave Burkett, because I have on headphones, so I can hear a little bit better. And whoever that was coughing, bro, come on, man. He's asking about Jameson Williams right now. So that's Dave Burkett. So this is going to be Dan Campbell's response to Jameson Williams, whether he's out or what's the latest.
Well, I'm not supposed to really talk about it. So, but no. So, you know, we're prepared not to have him. And, you know, and it's all good. So he's going to be here. He's helping until they come through with whatever's going to happen. He's with us. He's part of this team. He's helping out, and we're good, man. We got Allen Robinson. We got Leaf. We got Saint. I can keep going. We got TP. We got Laporta. We got Gibbs. We got Montgomery. You know, we'll probably bring Isaiah Williams. So we're good. And it's in the first little bit of stuff that we've been hit with. So we adjust. We move on. Life's good.
Okay, so wait a minute. Wait a second. We're going to finish. We're going to watch the whole thing. But wait a minute. So there got to be some type of guideline, right? There has to be some type of guideline so the NFL could just on Saturday be like, Jameson can't play. He can't play. So if you caught that, he said, until they let us know what's going on. So, and it's weird because, no, okay. Who is that? Is that Colton Pouncey or Eric Woodyard? Who's sitting in there right now? One of them guys is sitting in there. I think it's Eric. So how uncomfortable is that Eric is in there and he's not supposed to talk about it, meaning Dan Campbell, but Eric broke the news, if that is Eric Woodyard. So there has to be, it's kind of unfair. And I'm sure that the Tennessee Titans want to win that game, and they're like, yo, we need to know if Jameson Williams is playing or not. So this is not the news we've been waiting on, but it is interesting news. I'm definitely going to have to make a video after that about this. We have not, according to Dan Campbell, the NFL has said nothing as of right now, so they are going business as usual. And I think with today being Wednesday, you think by today, we got to hear something. How cold would that be to suspend Jameson, like, on Friday? Because he literally said he's not supposed to talk about it. So that's kind of weird to me. That means, to me, seeing it now with Dan Campbell and how the league didn't say anything, I think the gun might have been jumped a wee bit. It might have been jumped. And if it is Adderall, then how are you going to say that you can't use medication? Like, how are you going to say that? If you got diabetes or high blood pressure or something like that, which you probably wouldn't be playing in the NFL, but how are you going to say that? So, yeah, this is going to be interesting.
Supplies, since he's been suspended twice now, how does a player go about rebuilding trust with you, with teammates, with the organization, if he has to?
Well, I think step one is what he's doing right now, man. He's here, and he's helping. And, if he's not able to go, then he'll be helping on the scout team, which is awesome. And so, yeah, look, there's a number of things. Here's what I can tell you is I trust this kid. I trust him. And unfortunately, you got to pay for your sins, and something happens. And if this comes down, so be it. But I know this, we dangled a rope down on the way up. We can't wait for anybody. And over a year ago, he started climbing his way up, and he got to us. And maybe he lost his grip, but he'll climb back up again. That rope's still there. It's tied to us, and he'll be just fine. But he's part of this team, and I trust him.
Okay, y'all. What the heck? What did he just say? I told y'all on Lion Syndicate, Dan Campbell is a master at saying things and able to direct you to somewhere else. Now, he's not that elusive usually. What are we dangled and what are we talking about? I got so many things running through my head right now. What are we talking about? Now, okay, I'm going to put this out here. But it's only because of what the speculation is. Let me be very clear. I'm not saying that this is it, but we got to at least entertain this, okay? Especially based on what Dan said. And after the whole Max Crosby thing, I don't really want to read in what people are saying, but let me just say this. Hopefully, there is, if it is some type of medication, the hope is that it was prescribed, right? That's what very weird. The fact that the NFL, but the whole dangled the rope, he used it. I'm thinking. So now my mind is racing. What is happening? What did he just say without saying it? Was he saying, we giving you the opportunity to prove yourself, but he also said he trusted him. So that can't be what I'm thinking it is, because that type of person is hard to trust, right? So I don't know, man. It's just, this whole thing is weird. It's very weird, but yeah. Let's continue. Very weird.
When was the team informed, and when does his window close to?
Oh, this is a good question.
Is he going to appeal?
Yeah, that's about as far as I've already said too much.
Hey, that is a big deal. That's a big deal. Oh boy. Okay. I'm gonna let you finish. That's a big deal. Let's go back just a little bit. That's a big deal.
That's about as far as I've already said too much.
Where does that trust come from?
Yeah, I can't get into that either, really. What I'd say is there's enough things. Look, he and I have had enough dialect, enough things that have happened to I know when he tells me something, I know what it is, and that's the best way I can say it.
Hey, wait a minute. Wait a second, y'all. I just said, hey. Okay, we going to have to talk about this on Syndicate. We going to have to talk about this. Yeah, I know he said dialect. I look, I mess up words all the time. I knew what he meant. You know what I'm saying? If you start thinking, oh, man. Okay, we got to ask this question, y'all. We got to ask, did Jameson Williams, was he taking Adderall and he wasn't supposed to? I'm not saying that's what happened, but if you, and this is such a serious matter. This isn't like somebody being traded and whether they want to be here or not. This is a serious matter. So I don't want to put words and speculate and stuff like that, but Dan is not making it easier. He using words like lost grip. I trust him. We had a conversation. So now you start to wonder, and because he can't talk about it, and then you start to compare that with Jameson Williams and his dialogue and his response to Eric Woodyard about I take it on the chin. Oh man, this is. Let me know what y'all thinking. Let me know because you can't help but think about it. Let's go. Wow.
So look, this happened. It is what it is, and move on. But I do, and he's put the work in, and he's put his best foot forward, and like I say, he lost his grip. So he'll be back.
Okay, that to me, I'm sorry. That to me, it's tough not to speculate. I mean, put it in the comment section. We're going to have to talk. What does that mean to you? I'll let you decide what that means. That is those choice of words to me is very, it can be telling. But like I said, this is a serious subject matter, so I don't want to, but Dan ain't making it no easier. He can't give us any answers. He's already said he said too much, but what is he saying? Crazy. All right. Okay. I'm going to try to get through this, but this whole thing, man, is like, come on, man. Wow.
He was somewhat close to Teddy Bridgewater. He said he learned a lot from him without Teddy here. Is there someone else he's leaning on? Do you feel he has enough of a support system, either in the locker room, coaches?
I mean, hey, y'all, I lied. I just lied. Let me know. Do you think I'm fabricating this? Because what the reporters are asking him and what Dan is saying, it kind of feels weird. Is it just? Let me know if it's just me or do y'all feel it too?
Or else in the team to make sure he stays on the right path.
Yeah, I feel like he's around his teammates a ton, and I feel like he's really endeared himself to the guys, and like I say, he's part of the group, and yeah, I do, and I'm telling you, he's matured so much, man, and I get it, I understand where it's at, and I know it can be frustrating. Look, it's frustrating.
Okay, Milton. Dan Campbell was asked about Jameson Williams. If you want to know, go back about 5 or 10 minutes and we start this thing. Jameson Williams has been the last 5 or 6 questions. So he's talking about J-Mo. What he's saying, he ain't making it easier for us, but between him and what the questions that are being asked him, it just seems like it's something else. I don't know. And it's like I said, I don't want to speculate. But this whole thing doesn't sound like what we originally thought. But like I said, this is a serious subject matter, and I don't want to accuse anybody. But the words that Dan Campbell is using, the questions that are being asked by the media, it does not feel, it feels weird. It feels off. Like he's saying something without saying it, if you follow me. I don't know this, though. It just feels weird.
Frustrating for us, and it's frustrating because I got to answer these questions, and the team is going to have to answer them when they shouldn't have to. But ultimately, he's taken huge strides. He's made huge strides, and I recognize that, and I think the team recognizes that. So, I think he's going to come back better than he was before.
The other front, trades have started happening around the NFL. The Titans traded 2 guys, DeAndre Hopkins too.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it's the chess match has started and you guys not only worry about yourselves, but look at what the Chiefs did and what other teams are doing? Is that underway now, do you think?
You're just talking about from a trade aspect. For us, trading. Yeah, no, I don't feel that way. Like, I don't feel like we're pressured to, oh man, everybody's moving, we got to move. That's what you're asking, right?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, I don't feel that. I just found out about Jones. Amy just told me, literally, when I was walking out a walkthrough. I had no idea that they're working out a trade for him. I knew about Hopkins, but no, we don't feel swayed by that. You know, like I say, we are not going to be in a hurry. If it's right, it's right, and we're going to do our homework, do our due diligence, and man, if it makes sense, it makes sense. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Thinking at all with the diminished pressure in the last game against the Vikings as opposed to with Hutchinson?
No, because look, what we'll do is, you know, we've still got, there's still 2 guys here. There's really 3 that we haven't really, rolled out there on Sunday and see what they look like. So we're going to give them a shot, you know, and we're going to give Isaiah Thomas a shot. You know, we're going to give Al Muhammad another shot. He's played in this league, done a lot, you know. We'll give Houston another shot. So in combination with all those guys that we've got. And let's give it a go. Let's give it a look, man. That's what they're here for.
Really performed well in the last 2 games when you are faced a situation where you may be without Jameson here for a couple of weeks. You know, what confidence does it give you to know you have a reliable guy like that?
A ton of confidence. I told you from day one. I mean, Leaf is really, he really is one of our starters. He's a spot starter. You know, we use him enough. But I would tell you, man, absolutely Leaf. Everybody's got the utmost trust in Leaf, man. He's been here since the beginning. I mean, the guy does everything right, and he's smart. He's competitive. He's got speed, you know, and that's the other thing. This guy can run. Let's not forget. So, but I would say Allen Robinson. I mean, we just went through the walkthrough. I mean, he's going to take on a heavy load here too, and talk about a pro, man. I mean, he's locked in. Everything we just went through. I mean, it's meticulous, which fires you up. So, man, we're going to be good here.
Carlton and Terry on, but I'm curious what you think of Meek's performance in the first 6 games here.
Meek has gotten better every week. He is, man, he's really grown in our defense. And here's what you love about Meek, man. You talk about man coverage, he's going to get up there and he's going to challenge, and he's not afraid of anybody, and he's going to compete, and he can run. He's a pretty savvy player in that regard. So he's really been a good fit for us. And you know, I kind of mentioned this the other day in the game. We get in there in nickel between, you know, CD and TA and Amik. I mean, those guys are, they're giving some receivers fits right now. So I like where he's at, and he's gotten better every week.
I mean, he's got swagger and he's not quiet about it. How good are those guys? Oh, yeah. How good is it to have those guys in a locker room? What do they bring to?
Well, it's, you know, it's one thing to have swagger and then you don't make plays, but you know, if you're producing and you're doing it, that's a whole another deal. But I think it breeds confidence, man. When you start making plays and you trust the guy next to you and he starts making plays, and pretty soon you start playing off each other and you trust each other, then you get your own swagger, and then defensively, everybody, that swagger goes up for the unit. So it is good because they know what they're capable of, and they also know it's not a finished product between that whole secondary, BB and Kirby and Amik and CD and TA, and that's a beautiful thing.
Pascal Montgomery going to be out there today?
Say it again.
Pascal Montgomery, are they going to be practicing today?
Pascal won't be out there. Montgomery will be out there. I'm going to sit the bigs. Some of the bigs today. So, you know, Decker and Graham and Frank may sit Levi just for a little bit for today's practice, but that's all, you know, just taking care of them.
Just because I've seen him a little bit more. I think he went on the road trip with you, Emmanuel Mosley.
Yeah.
Where's he at kind of in his recovery? Is there still a good shot that he could get back to you this year?
Yeah, there is. And that was really the first week he's traveled with us. And, he wanted to go, and we were all for it. So I can't tell you how close, but yeah, we're going to get him back. It's just a matter of when is that. He's doing pretty good. He's really progressed nicely, and he's healed up well, and so he's doing good. Okay.
All right, I was just checking the Detroit Lions YouTube channel to see how much more we have. So okay. This is when, all right, before we do that, this is when like this job is not the funnest. Thank you, Braylon. I appreciate that, man. Those come in handy on Tuesday on the preview show. All right, so before we do that, Diana Rossini, she puts out what the compensation will be for the Tennessee Titans. To finalize the Hopkins trade, the 5th round pick elevates to a 4th round if the Chiefs make the Super Bowl and Hopkins plays 60%. The Titans will pay 2.5 of Hopkins' contract. So if it looks like that 5th round pick will be a 4th round pick if they make the Super Bowl, and in the Super Bowl, she could have been a little more clear with that. If in the Super Bowl he plays 60%. So if there are 70 snaps, he would have to play 40, somewhere around there. All right. Yes, Braylon, I got it, man. Thank you. So this is when this job and this kind of thing is not fun, because I want to have some dialogue. I do not like the direction that this is going, but I want to ask you again. I'm not accusing Jameson Williams of anything, but Dan Campbell obviously said too much. It feels like something is off, and I don't want to. Unfortunately, we live in the realm of speculation, and that speculation is going to be had. No matter what I do about it, people are going to speculate. There's a lot that he said there without saying it, but I don't want to. I got to be very careful with this. Because I don't want to say that he was caught doing something, but it sure feels that way. It feels that way. So I got to talk about it though, because that's just where we are. But it feels weird. It feels off. It feels like something is wrong. So I'll just say this and we'll wrap up the show. We have yet to find out what exactly happened. Jameson Williams at this point is not suspended. Everything that was said is alluding to a specific thing being the case. I won't say, so what I'll do is I'll make a video about it. I won't say what that specific thing is. I will let you come to your own conclusion. And the way Dan Campbell, if you pile everything together, it paints one picture that may or may not be true. Not sure if this is supposed to be out or not. Kiera says, seeing these trades just tells me that we don't necessarily have to sell the farm. Didn't Snead get traded for a 4th? Hopkins essentially for a 4th. We don't need all these picks, Brad. Yes, a lot of it too has to do with money. But in a positive note, Emmanuel Mosley is trending being back this season, and we can use all the depth that we can get. So I kind of feel like my Jameson Williams video is void now because of this new information, but that's okay. I will still release it anyway. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you we hit 1,000 views today. That's the best show we've had in a while. I know I've been inconsistent, just one-man show, right? I've got, probably 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got a ton of channels. Lion Syndicate takes the bulk of my time. That is where all my effort goes because it reaps the most benefits. It's the strongest channel. This one was put here for this reason. It was put here for live interaction where we can consistently talk about our team. The goal of this channel is to branch beyond Detroit Lions, hopefully get a Tigers guy, a Red Wings guy, Michigan State, whoever it is. I know it's Lions centric, but no matter what happens, it really is. That's the point of this channel, for live stream interaction, a place where, you know, we can talk about all Detroit sports. That's why it's not called Syndicate Sports Lions. It's supposed to be beyond the Detroit Lions, but the Detroit Lions have been the hottest in the last 3 years. And that's pretty much everything people want to talk about. So, I've got to make this Jameson Williams video. And we have to have some dialogue. I might even have to go live on the other channel. I might have to go live on Lion Syndicate and we talk about this because I am a little leery as to what's happening now. Okay. Johnny says, free J-Mo. Hey, Derek, and Lions Pride. Sounds like Mad Max is out. Maybe we can get their tier 2 players. You know what, bro? I don't know if there's anybody on the Raiders outside of Max Crosby that I would want. I honestly don't believe that. I did see something from a show today where it was ridiculous. It was like trades that they want to see. I think it was NFL, and it was trades that they want to see, the panel. And one of the trades was Trayvon Walker for like a 4th. And I was like, yeah. They were talking about how he could basically still be developed into that elite pass rusher. They also agree with us. They don't think he's an elite pass rusher. But yeah, DJ Moore is being attacked. It's tough. It's tough. So yeah, I might have to go live. And we dissect this because I think it's a lot happening. But anyway, all right. Thank you guys. I will be back on Friday. Also got a special treat Friday. It's not, well, Friday I might be able to tell you guys. I'm not going to tell you now because I want to make sure it plays out. But anyway, appreciate you guys. The name of this song, you know what I'll do it? I'll play the song since you guys love it so much. The name of the song is the Detroiters theme from 6 a.m. I found this song because of our old quarterback, Matthew Stafford. Back when the whole LA Rams thing was happening, this song came to be. So I guess I'll see you guys on Friday, man. But this is the Detroiters theme by Distinct Life featuring 6 a.m.
Blowing and I'm pissing off the neighbors. Whether homegrown or imported, we feeling shorted, cause we waiting on our paper. So next time when they ask you where you from, you gon' say Detroit City, where we get back on our feet. Next time when they ask you where you from, you gon' say Detroit City, when we get back on our feet. Yeah, you don't know about the D, you don't know about the streets, cause when you're in the motor city, nothing is as pretty as the hustle. You don't know about the D, you don't know about the streets, cause when you're in the motor city, everything ain't pretty, but it's love though. Next time when they ask you where you from, you gon' say Detroit City, where we get back on our feet. Next time when they ask you where you from, you gon' say Detroit City, when we get back on our feet. Yeah.